continue our discussion with unique Southern food, international food, and other random thoughts.
Saw that smothered meat up there, and you had some rice on the stove. I was like, yes, ma'am. I wouldn't mind having some of that. Man, I got to eating that stuff. Man, this is good. Homemade biscuits and everything. And I noticed the bones didn't look right. I was like, what? I said, Roslyn, what is this? She goes, I don't know. I told you I don't eat over here. she goes, they have that funny meat over there. I don't eat over there. I'm like, no, you didn't tell me that. And so I they called her Big Mama. I said, Big Mama, what is this I'm eating? Now, mind you, I done sucked down 3/4 of it, you know. She said, oh, that's rabbit, baby. I was like, oh, I was like, oh my God. I had never had no rabbit before, man. I was like, oh, who knew? But it was too late now. This biscuit and gravy, too damn good. I went on and ate that.
Yeah, that's the way we had all that kind of stuff. And I can remember even as I had gotten older, I had one aunt that she still cooked on a wood burning stove.
Yeah,
And I never understood how she could. I mean, there was no buttons to regulate the temperature and stuff.
right.
And I never understood. She would bake some of the best pies and cakes in that wood burning stove that you ever seen. But she could manage that oven and the heat going into the oven with the wood and stuff like that,
Right,
to
right.
where. And she did that for the longest. I mean, I don't. She was well up in age before she finally went out and got an actual electric stove. She
Yeah,
was still cooking on a wood burning stove way back. When I was like I say, I was quite a ways older by that time, and we'd go out there and she'd have that fire going in that stove, and she'd have that little thing that you put on the top of the metal eye where you put the wood
yeah,
down in there and stuff.
yeah.
Man, she had that down to a science. She could cook anything you could think of in that wood burning stove.
Yeah, that's what my grandmother and her sister did when they fried that chicken. It was a
Hmm.
wood burning stove because it doubled as the heat at night,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And that's what they cooked in that wood burning stove. But I don't care what they was cooking in. I wasn't gonna eat none of that. I was like, even when they got it down, I'm like, I can still see feathers on that. And it's funny. Speaking about another form of karma. Boy, I wish like that to go now.
Oh
and
yeah.
and 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 reminisce back on, and appreciate. Uh, Man, it's something else. But boy, I sure wasn't trying to hear that when I was a youngster.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. My mom used to always talk about how I was so she said particular as a
Yeah,
kid on what I ate. I mean, even to the point that there was times that my dad would try to step in, and my dad wasn't the best cook at all. 'Cause my mom did all the cooking, but there'd be times that he'd have to step in. Either my mom would be sick or whatever, and,
hmm
and my dad was one of those kind of people. He cooked a whole meal with one fork. If he cooking eggs in the morning, he fried the bacon with a fork. He scrambled the eggs with the same fork, and that fork had food all over and stuff. And he would, he would fix you a plate. He'd sort of like rake the stuff out of the skillet into your plate. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, that ain't looking like how Mama cook her food. And poor
yeah,
thing. God rest his soul too. He would try. He'd
yeah,
try his best, and I can remember back, when they used to make hot chocolate out of milk and cocoa and that kind of
yeah,
stuff, and
yeah.
he'd be trying to make it, and he wouldn't be paying attention, and he'd get that skim on the top of it. He trying to pull that skim off the top of it, and he'd hang, sort of pull the spoon out and stuff. He'd hanging off of it, and I'm
Yeah, yeah,
thinking, I don't want to drink that hot chocolate. Got that stuff. But like I say, he would try, But yeah,
yeah,
I was just one of them kind. If my mama didn't cook it, I was hesitant to eat almost anybody's food if my
yeah,
mama didn't cook it.
yeah, yeah. That reminds me of my two boys, man. So see, I ain't. If it ain't the grill, I ain't too hot on doing that. I can scramble an egg or two, but
Hmm.
I ain't too much on nothing else. And so whenever Rosalind wasn't feeling well or she was gone somewhere, it really got to me when my son came and said, "Okay, Dad, we ready for some beanie weenie." But they knew that's what they were gonna get. Some beanie weenie. That was a standing joke over here. Mom, where you going? We don't want no beanie weenie. You know, we know that's what Dad gonna cook. but, but it was just hilarious. And then I know one time she was gone somewhere. She didn't help it now. But she was gone somewhere, and they were hungry, so we were gonna have soup and sandwich. That's my wheelhouse: soup and sandwich, beanie weenie,
Right.
that kind of stuff. And so I did the soup, and I got the sandwiches. And when I got the sandwich, because they weren't toddlers or so I cut the sandwich. I cut it halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Lynn. Uh, uh, that's not how my mama cuts it. She cuts it on a. He didn't say diagonal, but that's what it was.
Right, right.
This is how she cuts it. I'm like, do I look like your mama? I said that sandwich eats the same way, whether it's cut. But boy, it was like, oh, that's not how my mama does it. I'm like, boy, please. There was something else, but yeah.
Yeah, that happened with one time Marion went to, that's when I was still in the military. We was in Illinois. She went to Texas for some training, and I was cooking for the girls. So I was trying to be, bougie. I went out and got some chicken cordon bleu, and cooked that, warmed that up in the oven, and made some sides to go with it and stuff. And that night when Marion called home, we was talking to the girls, and she said, "What did y'all have for dinner? What daddy cook y'all for dinner tonight?" Tamara gonna say, "Oh, he cooked us his big chicken nugget." I said, no damn big chicken nugget. That was chicken cordon bleu. That's French. She said, Justin Bowl, he cooked us some big chicken nugget.
Boy, that's funny.
I'm like, these kids, boy, I tell you, they something else. But yeah, I kick us a big chicken nugget.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
that made
they
me
do.
think about today, man. I had to laugh at myself. We got this little board on the refrigerator. We put down the shopping list. As you need something, we
Yeah.
write it on there, and whoever you go into the store will see what's on the shopping list and pick stuff up. So we
Right.
had some stuff on. I was warming me up some lunch, and that spray. I was using an aluminum pan, and the spray you spray on there so it don't stick, kind of thing. I sprayed that in there. I used the last of it, so I put it on the list. And and Tara went to the store. She came back and she brought the bags in and put them on the counter and stuff. And I looked in there, and there was 2 cans of Spam in there. And I said, "Who gonna be eating some Spam?" I thought maybe she had bought it for herself or something for work or something.
Yeah.
And I said, "Tara, why you got this Spam in here?" And she said, "Dad, it was on the shopping list." She said, "I asked Mom, why did Dad put this Spam on the shopping list?" And she said, "I don't know. He put it on the list, so I guess he wants it for some reason." I said, "No, no, no." I said, "I'm talking about the Spam, the stuff you spray on the pots and things so the stuff don't stick." And she said, "Dad, that's Pam. That ain't Spam."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, I guess I had a brain fart on that one."
Yeah.
She said,
That's
"That's Pam. That ain't Spam."
a
So
far
I said,
cry
I
from
said, you,
Spam.
I said, "You got the receipt because of this Spam. I'm going to go back because I got some bad memories of Spam back in the
Yeah.
day too. Because we ate Spam growing up too.
Oh yeah, same here. And I don't care if I never see it again.
Me,
Man.
I guess my mom would put it in that skillet and fry it up, and she would serve it as the meat, with some sides.
Yeah,
I got bad memories on Spam. That's why I was trying to figure out why Tara would buy some Spam. 2 cans of it. Why is she buying some Spam? She said,
man. You know
Dad,
what?
that's Pam. That ain't Spam.
That, that's one of the third ones that I don't eat besides liver,
Hmm.
and that was spam. Because again, you put that in your mouth, you're expecting a whole nother texture.
Yeah.
And you eat that, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
And they well, you know, from us being over in England, they like that over there, boy.
Oh,
That
yeah.
spam
Oh, yeah.
is the real deal. But I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I have flashbacks from being over there, man. You know, we were so far down in the country out there. I know we used pubs out of the way. We go out to dinner with some friends we had over there, and I don't know it to be true, but I think I done ate some horse. Them was the biggest damn steaks I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, I don't even think they make a cow that damn big, man. I said that's got to be horse. But I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Once you get full of
Well,
that vino, you eat what's in front of you.
well, that's like it was when I was in Korea. They had a Korean barbecue restaurant we used to go to, and they serve ribs. And I don't know if they make a pig that small. I ain't seen that kind of rib. Because the reputation in Korea was that, man, it wasn't no reputation. It was a true fact. They ate dogs over there.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
no
was
doubt.
there in 93, 94 when the Olympics came, and they told the local citizens there's two things y'all got to stop doing while all these international tourists and Olympians are in town. You got to stop spitting everywhere, and you got to stop eating them dogs, and have them out on
Yeah.
display. Because I went down to the market, the meat market, and they had them down there. I mean, the guy wouldn't let me take a picture, but they had dogs in the market, and then they considered it almost a delicacy.
Yeah,
But when we
yeah,
would go to that barbecue restaurant, we'd look at each other and like, either this was an anorexic pig or this ain't no pig but like I say, I ate it. So I
yeah.
can't, but I'm still living today. But yeah, we had the same kind of concern when we was in Korea about them ribs we were eating.
I'm telling you, man. I was like, I mean, this sucker encompassed the whole plate, and I should say plate platter. And I'm like, ah, man, this is something else here, boy. But
Yeah.
hey, you
Might
know,
have been like Jack in the Box, that Jack in the Box one time was serving that horse burger.
yeah, kangaroo.
It was kangaroo. Okay, I knew it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
some kind of meat that wasn't beef.
That's why all them brothers can jump in the NBA because we were all leaving the club. Jack in the Box stayed open selling that stuff.
Yeah. Uh, my my girls laughed. I said, "Yeah, back in the day, man, we'd go to the club, get out of the club 2 or 3 in the morning. Jacket box was always open." And I said, "Back in that day, they had that big clown head you talked into. You
Yeah,
remember that the
yeah,
old Jack in the Box? You put your order through that big clown's head." And I said, everything that Jack in the Box had. If you got a hamburger, it was a Jack burger. If you got a
yeah,
burrito, it was a Jack burrito. Everything
yeah.
had Jack in the front of it.
Jack Taco.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything was a Jack something. But yeah, man, that was our stopping off point before we headed back to the yard back in the day with Jack in the Box.
yes, sir.
Yeah, because it
Especially
was
if
the
you
only
didn't.
one that stayed open.
Especially if you didn't catch.
That's right.
I
Because
might as
if
well
you
eat.
caught, you were probably wasn't coming back to the yard.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you probably wasn't coming back to the yard.
Boy, I tell you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now I know one thing I got to ask you: if you eat potted meat,
I have and I don't.
you have and you don't.
Mhm. I,
Now
you
see,
know, back in the day, I did, but I guess I opening it and looking at it. I'm like, oh hell no! I mean, it looked like throw up.
it and my girl when they saw me eat some potted meat first time, they said, "Dad, how can you?" Because see, I put a little mayonnaise and hot sauce in mine and put it on a cracker. Shh. I can eat some potted meat. Vienna sausage. Oh yeah. I
Oh
can.
man, I can't. The texture of that's just like liver. Boy, you helping me discover more shit that I don't eat.
Oh no, I can do some potted meat. I can do some
Ooh,
Vienna sausage. Oh yeah.
Rosin eat them Vienna sausage. I can't mess with them, man. It
Yeah.
just
Even the
see,
ones that come in barbecue sauce.
man, that as soon as you put it in your mouth, it just splits open. It just grows in your mouth. I'm like, oh no, oh no, I can't, I can't deal with it. And now again, I do and I don't. I have Vienna sauce back in the day when there was some lean time.
Right, right.
So all I did was get me a Ritz cracker so it tastes a little bit better.
But see, that's what we did when I was in the Boy Scouts. Because we weren't the best Boy Scouts. We didn't learn how to really cook on an open fire and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So whenever we go to camp, all we had was, like you said, beanie weenies, Vienna sausage, and potted meat and some crackers. That's what we lived off of. Because
Yep,
we didn't learn how to cook on the open fire, so we wasn't about to cook nothing. But yeah, man, I can eat me some potted meat.
man. That's just like today. If I was a troop leader and we going out to the field to rough it, there's gonna be a Holiday Inn Express nearby. we can get it. We continental breakfast and some TV. Yeah, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, boy. It was interesting. I think about that. We was a Boy Scout troop, and we was a ragtag bunch, man. Most of us didn't have uniforms to start with,
Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
we go up to that little uh, Boy Scout camp they'd have every year. We were a bunch. We were something else. But I mean, we just were young kids and just wanted to go. We just wanted
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
and camp out a little bit. So we'd go up there, and man, I know one time it rained, and our troop leader said, "Well, when you put this is back in the day when they had tents that didn't have floors in them. It was just a
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we put sleeping bags or blankets on the ground. And he said, y'all need to dig some trenches around them tents because it's supposed to rain. Man, you know how we are. Hey, ain't gonna dig no trenches. We gonna, man. It came a storm that night. That water was running through that tent. That water was about to take us off and float us down. We got up. We went to the scoutmaster. He drove a truck. He took all the equipment up there in the truck. We said, "Can we get in the truck? Can we get in the truck?" He said no because if he let us in, he's going to let everybody in.
Right.
And
Right.
finally,
Right.
he said,
Right.
"Come on, y'all get in. Y'all get in." So we went and got in that truck that night, man. And the rest of the guys, by that time they was asleep. They didn't realize that they were sleeping in water till the next morning when they woke up. But yeah, boy, I remember that like it was yesterday. I was soaking wet.
Dang.
That water was just coming through that tent like nothing. And I don't know how much trenching would have stopped it anyway. I mean,
Right, exactly.
it came a deluge up there that time. But yeah, man, we lived off of beanie weenies and Vienna sausages and Ritz crackers.
Well, I didn't last when we went. I got a tick on me, and I was like, "Take me home." I got to get up. Man, I ain't never seen nothing like that. I ain't never had no tick on me or nothing like that. The wool blankets,
Right,
and
right.
we well, I managed to stay that night, and then we went home the next day. So that was all right. But I ain't go camping again until Uncle Sam said, "Yeah, you going, whether you like it or not." But
Yeah. Well, I remember that time we went up there to
that
was it
private lake,
Canyon Lake or Calaveras Lake, whichever that lake was. We went up there that one night of camping and we never went back again. We
yeah.
heard something in the trash can that night, sound like a bobcat or something.
Hey,
Yeah, we
man,
did that one time.
that's right. And see, all the ones that pulled me out of that because I ain't no outdoorsman. And we had set up and we had drank half the night,
Right.
and so I had to go to the bathroom. So I went out there and stood at the edge of the lake and you know started peeing. All I remember was I saw a bunch of little heads sticking up out of the water. Okay, now I'm thinking that it's just sticks. You know how sticks
Right.
be, but then that's right at the edge where we were. So
Right.
the next morning when I had to relieve myself again, I went there and I'm like, them sticks ain't out here. So I'm wondering, because I remember somebody was telling me, oh, they were turtles, man. I don't care what they were. I know that I didn't need to be out there hanging. And I'm like, no, I ain't doing that no more. I ain't doing that no more. I went out, and I went out bought all that fishing tackle to go with y'all, knowing I ain't gonna bust a great. My fishing was over for me. Once I cast, that's all I was doing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a good cast right there. I ain't have no patience to be looking at no cork and waiting to see if something's gonna bite. And then even at that time, I didn't even eat fish. So I'm like, I'm just out here. You remember that time we went? I went with y'all.
Yeah.
y'all got mad because it was the NCAA tournament on, and we were fishing off the edge, and I had the TV on the hood watching the NCAA game. Had the radio on, like you ain't gonna never catch no fish, boy.
Yeah, I remember. Cause we it took us forever to finally convince you to go. Cause we said, Rodney, we got to go early enough in the morning before it gets too hot, so the fish will be biting. And back in them days, even most of us, we didn't hardly get up to noon because we didn't get
Yeah,
in to wee hours of the morning the night before, and
yes,
we
sir.
finally convinced you that we were going to get up early and go fishing, and that was the one and only time we ever went fishing too.
Yeah, yeah. Boy, I'm telling you, it was something else, man. Start thinking about the memories. Every time we start talking, we thinking something else, you know. Yeah, I'm out
Yeah.
there. I'm like, what if those had been water bucks? Oh,
Yeah, you never know. Like you say,
yeah,
they weren't there in the morning when you went back, though, were they?
yeah, they wasn't there, man. I'm like, oh my God. Again, the good Lord look out for children and fools.
Hmm.
And I wasn't
Hmm.
no child. So I'm like,
Yeah,
amen.
buddy. It was back in the good old days.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Hey, Rodney, our time is up for this session. Until next time. This is Mickey G.
And I'm Rodney T.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.